Why wait until Bae Jun-ho has scored an absolute screamer?
Beat 3 players and scored a screamer.
And then be like, actually, do you know what? It's a free kick. Let's drag it back. It should have been a cracking goal.
It was a cracking goal. Fair play to him. It's not really fair, is it?
And it would have been his first goal of the season. The key for me, or one of the keys, is we get Bae Jun-ho to his absolute best.
Yeah.
Because if he starts to tick, then I think Stoke start to tick. Hello and welcome back to another Friday night episode of Stoke Fan TV with myself, Max.
And me, Sam.
And today you'll notice we're in slightly different surroundings. That's right, we've come down to the fabulous 3 Tons pub in Uttoxeter. Have been very kind and let us use their pub as a studio. Our studio's looking a bit past its best now, isn't it?
And a bit cold.
And it's freezing.
Yeah.
So it's nice to come into the pub and do a show. So thanks to those guys for that. If you haven't been here, come down, check it out. Screens everywhere. Football's always on. This should be a big Stoke pub back in the day, didn't it?
Yeah, big Stoke
3
pub.
Tons Uttoxeter. Right, on with the show. Now, we're coming off the back now of the best run of form since 2019, is that right?
Yes, it's the best run Stoke have had since relegation. We have had 3 draws in a row now. So
yeah, we're becoming the draw specialists, are we? We are becoming harder to beat, I will say that. What do we need to do, Sam, to convert these draws into wins?
Create more chances, I think, personally, because we're getting good possession now against these teams that are struggling, and I think if we can get more chances created in the final third and score more goals, I think that's what we need.
Maybe a bit of help from the ref as well.
Yeah, that would help.
As well. We've had a couple of dubious decisions. We had another one for Bae Jun-ho.
Yeah.
In fact, we're gonna delve into some of Bae Jun-ho's stats in this particular video because I don't think he's at 100% yet, and he's still firing. In terms of when you see the stats in a minute, you'll see what we're on about. But I just don't think he's quite at 100% yet. Should he have had a goal? His goal was disallowed. Should that goal have stood? We're gonna try and show you like slow motion of that. It's the best we can do from the replays we've got. There are not many replays of it, to be honest with you. So we're going to delve into that in a second. But you are right, Sam. We are possession-wise. We're looking more assured on the ball. Across that back line, we're not just hoofing the ball. We're keeping the ball nice and compact, and we're starting to play it through their lines a little.
They are. It is a little bit too defensive still for my liking.
Yeah.
To be honest, watching the game against Preston and Millwall and QPR, the draws, we've been sat back through a lot of the game and trying to just get lucky when we get forward more than actually using the brains and actually 1-2 between players and a bit of a routine going towards a goal. They're just sort of hoping on a bit of luck at the minute, I think.
Well, we are inviting a lot of pressure on, but maybe that's part of Chico's tactics. There is a tactic, of course, to invite the pressure, then beat the press, and then get into their final third. But what do you think, Stoke fans? I mean, Seko, I think, is a brilliant player.
Yeah, Seko's a good player.
He's starting to come into his own a bit. And I think that, I think he's another one of these players. If we can get him on the ball more often than not, then we're...
Well, he's still new, so he's still got time to gel and get better, so...
But, obviously, we didn't do a show last week. We didn't do a show. This thing called life got in the way. So we're back again, and we missed the opportunity to talk about the goal that wasn't, that probably should have been, maybe.
100%. I think after that game, a lot of Stoke fans yet again felt robbed by the referee. But at the same time, it was the only real opportunity Stoke had in the game to actually win it. And yeah, granted, it's a bit sour after, but it was a good result, really, on the grand scheme of things.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's just have a quick look at the actual point during that QPR game where Bae Jun-ho scored a fabulous goal. Now, first thing I just want to point out is this space here where Bae Jun-ho is in that kind of like half space. He's on the left wing at this point, but he's drifted in and he's found himself in a nice pocket of space. This is where I think Bae Jun-ho is at his most dangerous.
Yeah.
So let's just watch this through. So ball comes into him here. Lovely touches and right foot shot. Bang. What a goal. Absolutely brilliant goal.
Brilliant goal.
Disallowed by the ref. Now, this is the ball coming in. Here's your ref. Now, it couldn't be in a better position.
He stood right next to him.
I mean, maybe you could argue when you see this and the ball coming in, he's on the wrong side of
He's
Bae.
looking the wrong direction.
Right, so I'm going to slow it down as best I can. This is kind of the best angle we can get, by the way. The ball comes up here.
That's looking at him.
Trying to whiz it back and forth.
It's his chest.
I can't.
It's this area.
Yeah, I can't see that hitting his arm. Now, if...
He's moving his arm back out of the way.
Right, yeah.
To stop it from hitting his arm.
The thing I can't understand about this is why does the ref not blow then and there?
He only blows once it's gone in.
Why does he not blow then and there? If it's a handball, blow your whistle, handball.
Done.
Done. Why wait until Bae Jun-ho has scored an absolute screamer?
Beat 3 players and scored a screamer.
And then be like, actually, do you know what? It's a free kick, let's drag it back. What's that all about?
It's nonsense.
We haven't got VAR.
It's nonsense.
You can't go, oh, well, let me just check with VAR and jobs are good.
Nobody called for it either. None of the QPR players said that it was a handball.
So this is a slightly wider angle. So as the ball comes in, right, okay, the ball there. Right. I don't think.
No.
I mean, he got a view there.
The wrong side of him, granted, and he might be getting blocked by QPR. No.
But again, if it's handball,
you've got to be certain, haven't you?
So how comes it's handball? It's not handball if we don't score, but it's handball if we score. What?
Don't make it.
Anyway, so that's what we think. But a cracking goal. It should have been a cracking goal.
It was a cracking goal. Fair play to him. It's not really fair, is it?
And it would have been his first goal of the season.
Yeah.
Because this is what I mean about Bae Jun-ho. I don't think he's quite there yet, but he's getting there, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he's a great player. Last season, you could argue, was our best player, right?
Last season, him and Berger were definitely the best players in the team. This season, him and maybe Manu are probably the best players in the team.
Well,
besides Johansson, obviously.
Oh, well, yeah, of course.
Yeah. To be fair, he didn't have much to do in the last 3 games. He hasn't.
Which is a good thing. Let's have a look at some of Bae Jun-ho's stats. So we're on Opta Analysis, brilliant stats website, and we'll delve into some of the things that Bae Jun-ho just does really well. So let's start with chance creation. So where do you want to start, Sam? Should we start with actual chances created total? Okay, so we're on there. So the number 1 on the tree is Manu.
Yeah.
So he's coming in 16 games, same amount as Bae. Bae's 1 behind on 26. Not bad, but again, you know, he's not quite at his peak. No, but that's good. That's a good start. So we're off to that. Let's go to patting. Final third, successful passes. Total.
Bae Jun-ho.
177. Successful passes.
Bae Jun-ho.
Well, so he's 20 more.
Go on percentage.
Successful passes, and his percentage.
Now ignore Daniel Johnson. Seko's doing great there.
That's really interesting. Just go off topic from Bae a second. Look at Tatsuya Seko. Appearances, 8 appearances. You know, almost less than half, or half I should say, of some of these other ones, and 41 successful passes, 78 percentage. Tatsuya Seko, having him in the centre of the park.
Yeah, good player, and he can pass.
Good player. But the point is, I say, successful passes in that final third, Bae Jun-ho.
Bae Jun-ho.
Bae Jun-ho?
Yeah.
So that's passing. Let's go to attacking. Now, we mentioned where he can improve. I think this is an obvious one where I think he can improve. He's not scored yet this season. And his total shots, he's had 17 shots and 5 of them are on target. So that's something that he could...
Look at Cannon though there. Cannon's had half of his shots that have been on target, which is very good to be fair for a striker. 50% shot accuracy. Not bad at all.
Well, we know that's what Cannon's renowned for. Yeah, or that's what we got him on loan.
Conversion rate 20% basically.
Not too shabby, is it?
Not bad.
And if we go down to carrying the ball, and I think Bae Jun-ho here, this is where, for me, getting a really good Bae Jun-ho on form is going to propel Stoke up the league. Because what I think Bae offers is we're inviting pressure on, right? We're inviting pressure on. Now, when we can turn the ball over, we need players that can break past players quickly into space, right, and then lay the ball off. Now, when you consider total carries, okay, he's number 2, 198. Ben Gibson, obviously, he's trying to move out from the back.
And more minutes, 200 more minutes.
And and total, in terms of his progressive carries, high up the pitch, he's down there. He's in 4th there, and Million Manu's got more. But again, this is where we want to see Bae more often. Going to ask you a question. I know the answer to this from my point of view. Where do you think Bae Jun-ho's best position is? Left wing or cam, number 10?
Now, last season, I thought he was going to be better in the cam position. But this season, I think he's much better on that left wing.
I'd agree with you.
With Manu on the right, him on the left, and then one of the midfielders pushing through the middle.
He just seems to be more involved in the match when he's playing on this. I'll show you what I mean by that. So this is Bae Jun-ho's kind of pass map, let's say, from the game against QPR, where he was used as a number 10. Now, I think that he likes to play in that position, and I think Chico likes to get him in that position.
Well, he's been given that number.
Yeah, but equally, as I say, I just think that he likes to play in that position, but I just don't think it's his best. If we go to the other games where he's been played on the left, this is against Preston, a lot more involvement there.
Yeah.
A lot more involvement. Obviously, these are from his crosses from corners. And then if we go to the Millwall game, and you can see here, there's a lot of, especially on that left wing. Where I think we need to get Bae, to get the best out of Bae, is kind of in that half space. This is the game versus QPR, and this is his heat map versus QPR. And this is his one versus Preston. This little heat indication here, in that little half space, we saw it for
that disallowed goal. That's his little spot of the pitch, isn't it?
So dangerous in those positions.
Yeah.
And that is where I think we need to get Bae. You'll notice there's a bit of heat coming back here. What he's also really good at, as I said in that last one, is those successful dribbles to carry the team out of trouble.
Does he remind you a bit of Bae Jun?
Do you know?
Because he was a bit left-sided winger cam sort of player, and he's very similar in the way he plays, passing it around.
I'd say, to be honest with you, he actually reminds me more, and people might disagree with me, of a young Arnautovic when Arnautovic first came to Stoke.
Yeah.
Because Arnautovic, when he first came to Stoke, was a bit raw. Bae Jun-ho's only 21.
Yeah.
Arnautovic, when he came to Stoke, was raw, and he was talented.
Yeah.
And to begin with, he wasn't as physical.
No, but he's beefed up, hasn't he?
Bae Jun-ho, similar. And I think that as that left winger that can kind of drift in,
yeah,
I think he could become as good of a player in the future. Right now, as I say, not quite on that kind of stratosphere.
Yeah.
But he's getting there. And where do we think he needs to improve?
On his thinking and his positioning.
His thinking, what do you mean?
His sort of knowledge of where the ball's going to go.
Yeah, his decision-making.
Decision-making. And making runs as well, because he's good at getting the ball in that space, as you say there, but I don't think he's that good at knowing when to do overlaps on that left-hand side if he needs to run down that wing to get the ball in, because it's usually Ender Stevens that's doing the crossing.
Do you know what? I would say that a lot of our players in that final third, one of the things we just seem to lack at the minute is that pass, the right pass at the right time.
Is it confidence? It probably is a bit down to confidence, because we haven't been scoring a massive amount of goals up front.
I think it's also down to the fact of how long's this team played together?
Well, not that long.
Not that long.
No.
And they're young lads.
Yeah.
If you look at how old are our front, let's say 4.
Cannon's 22, is he?
Cannon's early 20s. Bae Jun-ho's 21. Matthew's 21.
22, 23.
He's not very old either.
No.
Moran's young. Kumas.
Very young.
Very young. So we've got young players who are trying to gel.
Yeah.
They're trying to figure things out as they go under pressure a lot of the time. And I think that we're not quite there in terms of that final pass, that thought process.
One thing I will say, we've been just looking at the stats. Ben Gibson's been getting a bit of stick recently. I think he's actually playing quite well. He got very unlucky with that own goal. the other day.
Yeah, and at the time, you have to argue it was 2-2 for Ben Gibson as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 2 games, 2 goals, and then he went and scored.
But
Yeah, I think Ben Gibson's been playing well at centre half.
we were quite critical of Polak a few weeks back. Since we were critical of him and the team, they've had a bit of luck. They've put a bit of a shift in, and it's looking better.
We should have won 2, I'd say, of them draws that we've just had.
We've got Burnley.
Yeah, tomorrow.
We've got Burnley tomorrow.
What do you reckon? I think that's going to be the hardest game of the season. Burnley have conceded 6 goals all season.
I'm backing us against Burnley. I think we're going to win 2-0 or 2-1.
It's going to be a very difficult game. If we get a point, I'll be very happy, extend the unbeaten run. We've currently only had 1 loss in 10 games. If we can not lose to Burnley, then that is an achievement, in my opinion.
I'm pretty sure all the players are fit.
Yeah.
The game midweek...
We're still missing Galley.
We could do with having... I'd love to see Gallagher back, to be honest. The game midweek against Preston was a bit of a drab affair.
Yeah.
It was 2 mid-table teams playing a mid-table championship match.
Yeah.
And with all the fixtures that are going on, there's going to be a bit of fatigue creeping in.
Yeah.
I think the players are going to be up for it against Burnley. I think we're going to come to the show. I think we're going to turn up to the show, and I think that the lads are going to put in a good performance. I've just got a feeling about it.
Victor Johansson's going to have more to do tomorrow against Burnley.
Potentially, but I think their keeper's going to have a fair bit to do as well, to be quite honest with you.
I am looking forward to it.
I think he might stick with the same team that started in the previous game. And let's not forget Moran in the previous game against Preston was just coming off the back of illness.
Yes, it was it was illness, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I think I just got a feeling I think we're going to come out firing against.
Let's hope. You're going to say 2-0. I'm going to say 1-1.
2-0 or 2-1.
Well, we'll take that. I'd take a draw, as I said.
I just got a feeling we're going to do.
We're doing a lot better to be able to say we've only lost 1 game in 10, because I reckon last season we'd have lost a few of them.
Still think though, as I say, the key for me, or one of the keys, if not the main key, is we get Bae Jun-ho to his absolute best.
Yeah.
Because if he starts to tick, then I think Stoke start to tick.
Let's hope.
I think because he's that good.
Yeah.
And he's got potential to be.
Yeah.
He's got potential to be that good. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, because this pub's got to open up shortly.
Yes. Massive thanks to Dorney and the staff at 3 Tons that have let us use the pub.
Yeah, huge thanks. And again, if you haven't been down, come down, check it out. Screens everywhere, footy's always on. Come down, let us know. Ping us a message. Say, Max and Sam, come down for a beer.
Yeah.
We're in the Tons. So that's it. That's another episode of Stoke Fan TV. I forgot to mention, if you haven't already, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. We do appreciate it. Sam, anything to add before we wrap things up?
No, that's it from me. Let's hope we win tomorrow.
Yeah, well, I've got a good feeling.
Are you going?
Oh, yeah, I think I should be there. So if you're about, I might come and interview you as well. We will see you in the next episode.